Good morning, student. So, yesterday in last lecture we completed the concepts of 315, right? So, in the series of essay 300, we are going to discuss essay 320, that is a materiality in planning and performing in work of audit, right? So we completed essay 300, that is a planning of an audit of financial statement. Then we completed essay 315, that is identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environments. That is nothing but the ROMUM, popularly known as ROMUM. And the ROMUM is the combination of ROMUM is the combination of particularly risk, inherent risk, and we can say control risk. We are discussing the detail about that, what that does mean, right? Then we have started essay 320 yesterday lecture. In that essay 320, I noted down some of the concepts of materiality in a two part, FRF basis and other than FRF basis, right? So I hope you have little bit idea about the materiality, what that does mean, right? In today's lecture we are going to discuss something about the more detailed concept of materiality, and again then we are noted down in our fair book regarding what the summary points and important points of essay 320, right? So let us start with essay 320, basics concepts. I will explain you what that materiality is again with some particular hypothetical examples so that you have a clear idea about the same. Materiality, right? Because it is very essential to judge whether that particular transaction is material or not. Once it becomes a material, then its disclosure requirements is also mandatory from the act perspective. There is a special legislation and there is a special sections covered under the Companies Act which told you to represent the material transaction separately in the financial statements. So remember that once the transaction become a material, then you need to disclose the same separately in a financial statement. That is what the material transaction is. So it is very important to know whether that particular transaction is material or not. If it is a material, then you need to disclose the same separately in the financial statement, because the same is influence the decision or economic decision of the users. I hope you interlink that particular process, how that materiality impact in our FS. That is what the concept of materiality, and that's why this essay comes in your syllabus, and this essay is issued by the institute in the form of pronouncement that mandatorily followed by the chartered accountant while doing the audit. That is what the main thing is, right? Okay, fine. Just see what I am explaining right now. Just see it. ROMUM, risk of material misstatement. See students, this is the financial statements of the company. Say for example, this is the financial statement of the company, and this is the second financial statement of the another company, right? So this is the risk of material misstatement in this financial statement, and these all are the risk of material misstatement in this financial statement. This is a financial statement 1, and this is a financial statement 2. So I'm just give some hypothetical example of the transaction value so that you come to know and you easily understand what I convey you students. Say for example 1 lakhs over here, it might be, say for example 4 lakhs over here, it might be 8 lakhs over here, it might be 12 lakhs, right? The same over here, right? Same over here. Here 12 lakhs, here 8 lakhs, here 4 lakhs, and here 1 lakhs. Okay, students. So this is an just transaction value of this financial statement. Say for example, in this financial statement 1, the level of risk of material misstatement is this much. Say for example, I as an auditor, I need to establish some threshold. If I examine that in financial statement 1, there is a risk of material misstatement is low, then I suggest, and by applying my professional judgments, how that professional judgments comes into, this professional judgment comes based on the past experience of auditor, so I apply my professional judgments over that and decide what is the transaction value that I have to be focused, and what is the transaction value that if I ignore, then there is no major impact on the financial statements results. So I established one particular standard. Say for example, the standard is over here between 4 lakhs and 1 lakhs. Yeah, this is my standard for this financial statement. Say for example 3.5 lakhs. This is my threshold limit. What that means? Threshold. This is my threshold limit. So I established one particular benchmark below which I am not supposed to verify, because the transaction which I consider is, so above that 3.5 lakhs the transaction becomes a material. Above 3.5 lakhs, but below that not a material. Below 3.5 lakhs. So what as an auditor I supposed to do if I am verifying the revenue? Say for example, if I am verifying the revenue of financial statement 1, then what I supposed to do? I am not verifying the sales having the value of less than 3.5 lakhs, because this is a threshold limit. I have a sufficient time. I face some inherent limitations of auditing. I have not that much time to verify 100% things. That's why what I supposed to do, I am just verifying the limited content, and how I decide that limited content, that is based on this kinds of materiality. So I am deciding this 3.5. So below that 3.5 I am not supposed to do. See students, I am not explaining you how this ROMOM comes out. I am already explaining you as a 315 how this ROMOM and how this material misstatement I am supposed to find. That is a combination of inherent less and control less that I already told you as a 315. So right now what I am explaining, you just arrive or you compute ROMOM. You already have some ROMOM, risk of material misstatement. Now based on which you just arrive a particular conclusion regarding the materiality. That what I am trying to explaining you right now, so that you understand what is the concepts of materiality in really manner. Right? I hope you understand what I am explaining. So in not matter transaction below 3.5, then I am not supposed to verify. And if the transaction goes above, say for example, I am taking the example of sales. So if in particular company sales having a 5 lakhs rupees, then I supposed to verify the same. But if the sales having a value of 1.5 lakhs, then I am not supposed to verify the same, because the transaction is not that much material. I am establishing one particular benchmark, that is a 3.5 lakhs, nothing else. As far as the financial statement 1 is concerned. Now come here in financial statement 2, students. What in financial statement do? There is a pervasive materialities is over there. Risk of material misstatement is pervasive everywhere. It's everywhere in the financial statement. Everywhere, in every corner of the financial statement, there is a risk of material misstatement. Then I have some question marks. I have some question mark. What I could do, what I can do, because I have some time limitation also. But if I am not verifying the particular things, then I am not expressing my opinion appropriately, and the readers, users are taking the economic decision from my financial statement. If I am signing the financial statement, then the user believe that the financial statement is audited financial statement, and we are supposed to believe in that financial statement, and we are just purchasing and selling the securities on the same. They have some trust on you. They have some trust on the audited financial statement, and you are the auditor of the company. Then you are not doing any kind of mischief from that users, because it's your humble duty to follow the ethical principle as an auditor. That is what we are, right? So come to the here in financial statement 2 level. In financial statement 2, there is a very risk of material misstatement is very high over here. Is very high. So what I can do, it is necessary to set the benchmark now. So what the benchmark I supposed to establish, I am taking the benchmark of 1 lakh rupees. I am taking the benchmark of 1 lakh rupees. That means I am supposed to verify the transaction above 1 lakh, and I am not supposed to verify the transaction which is below 1 lakhs. That is what my benchmark. So depending upon what I am trying to explaining you is, depending upon the materiality or depending upon the risk of material misstatement having in financial statement, I have to decide what is my threshold limit. What is my threshold limit? In financial statement 1, the risk of material misstatement is low. That's why my particular threshold limit is 3.5 lakhs. But in financial statement 2, my risk of material misstatement ROMM is high. Then my threshold limit is, say for example, over here is 1 lakh. Because the risk of material misstatement is high. That's why I am taking the transaction, that's why I am taking the threshold limit as low. So that I am taking the entire risk of material misstatement, or we can say majorly risk. I dealt with majorly risk of material misstatement, and I try to find out it and solve it. There are 3 types of responses available against this kind of risk. Now second question comes to in your mind, students, कि sir, તમે કહી તો દીધું કે there are so many risks in financial statement too. આપણે 1 લાખ ઉપરની બધી વેલ્યુ જોશું, 1 લાખ નીચે કાંઈ નહીં જોઈએ. બટ સર આપણે એને સોર્ટ આઉટ કેવી રીતે કરશું? રિસ્પોન્સ કેવી રીતે કરશું સર? એ રિસ્ક મેં ફાઇન્ડ આઉટ કર્યું કે ચલો ભાઈ આ રિસ્ક છે, then what I supposed to do? So student, that what we learn in essay 330, response to audit risk. એને કઈ રીતે response કરશું? There are 3 types of risk are there. I am explaining you in essay 330 again, and how to respond the same. You are discussed with the management, and all that I am explaining you in essay 330 in detail. For right now, students, you just understand what is the concepts of materiality, how I establish my benchmark, how I compute my ROMM. Based on the ROMM, I am deciding the threshold limit and verified the same. Because that's how we are judge the materiality level. That's how. I hope you got the point. What is the materiality in real manner? Okay, fine. I supposed to write something over here. Just you need to write these all things, so that you understand what is the concepts of materiality at the end of the reading of your textbook or reference book, whatever it might be. You need to write this properly. And just remove it. I want to explain you something more. Yeah. So Just see. Just see it, student. I will just explaining you what the thing is. See students, so what I am explaining you is for materiality we see two things now. First thing is nature of transactions, right? First thing is nature of transaction, and second thing is numbers, because based on which we decide the materiality level. So as far as the nature of transaction is concerned, I am explaining you many times that is some of the transactions is become material by nature. Suppose management policies. Suppose management policies. Then what that management policy is? Suppose they are charging the depreciation method. They are taking the accounting estimates, because there is no standard to talk about the accounting estimates. Is you are doing that way only. There is no prescribed method for explaining or for giving you the hint about the accounting estimates. That is up to the internal policy of the companies. So દરેક કંપનીની એક પોતાની પોલિસીઝ હોય છે, based on which they are deciding the internal controls and that internal policies regarding the accounting estimates. What that accounting estimates means? Example, provision for doubtful debt. So that is based on their accounting estimate. They have estimated something કે ભાઈ આટલા percentage તો મારે provision doubtful debts ને આપવી પડશે. Right? So this all needs to be verified based on nature. So sometimes what happen is, I am just giving you the example so that you have a clear idea. For example, provision for doubtful debts in financial year 2018-19, the same is 10%. Say for example 10%, and in financial year 19-20, the same goes to 13%. So this is a nature how they are deciding the particular rates from 10% to 13%. So that is based on accounting estimates, and that is based on the internal policy of the company. So by seeing the nature of this type of transaction, you have some questioning mind. Again, professional skepticism. You have to bear in your mind some questions. Okay, why they are increasing the provision for doubtful debts from 10% to 13%? What is the reason behind the same? Right? If they are explaining कि sir lockdown હતું, हमारे आ રીતના data હતા, અમુક bank corrupt થઈ ગયા, અમુક financially disturb થઈ ગયા, that's why we are charging the particular provision for doubtful debts from 10% to 13%. If it is acceptable to you, you are not supposed to 100% relied on the information and data given by the management. But what as an auditor you are supposed to do, you are obtain the sufficient and appropriate audit evidences for the same. You are not relied on the data provided to you. You have to cross verify the same. Right? So these all things are covered under the transaction nature. So તમને ત્યાંથી ખબર પડશે કે આ particular transaction છે material છે કે નહીં. Right? Based on amount or we can say numbers. ઘણી વખત એવું થતું હોય કે મેં તમને એક્ઝામ્પલ આપ્યું હતું જ્યારે એસએ 320 સ્ટાર્ટ કરેલો કે આઈ એમ ટેકિંગ એક્ઝામ્પલ કે કોઈ કેશિયર છે એ કેશિયરે કોઈને 1000 રૂપિયાનો નાસ્તો કરાવી દીધો કે કાંઈ પણ મગાવી લીધું, ચા પી લીધી, so that without any approval, so that is not material. Okay, let it be. But the thing is that if any cashier are just theft the goods, or we can say if any cashier are theft the case from the case counter, say for example amount of 5 lakhs case, there is an unreconciled case from cash book in my hand, suppose on hand cash is 1 lakh rupees, but in cash book, on cash book my case is suppose 10 lakhs. So case book માં એમ કહે છે કે 10 લાખ કેસ હોવી જોઈએ 31 માર્ચ 2020 ના રોજ, જ્યારે કેસ બુક માં 1 લાખ જ છે. So this is material because 9 lakhs ની કેસ ગાયબ છે. So this is based on number, this transaction is material. I am just checking some base કે revenue ના suppose 1000 cr's નું turnover કોઈ કંપની નું છે 1000 crores. Out of that if 10% is the financial statement level ની હું materiality decide કરું છું કે ભાઈ 10% જે છે total revenue ના 10% એટલે 100 crore ઈ મારા માટે financial statement level ઉપર material છે. સર એટલે financial statement level ઉપર એટલે કે તમારા એગ્રીગેટ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન કે જ્યારે તમે ઓડિટ સ્ટાર્ટ કર્યું ત્યારથી લઈને એન્ડ કર્યું ત્યાં સુધીમાં જેટલા મટીરીયલ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન તમે ગેધર કર્યા છે, if that amount is exceeding 100 crores, then you have to report the same and that transaction is considered material, not in individual manner, right? So this is how you are deciding the materiality at financial statement level. And performance materiality, that means you are doing the audit and you found something. Performance materiality is nothing but some kind of establishing some threshold limit, which I am already explaining you now. In last particular Roman વાળો જે મેં તમને examples આપ્યું હતું એની અંદર મેં already આપ લોકોને શું કરી દીધું છે, explain કરી દીધું છે, right? So that is a performance materiality and this is a financial statement level materiality. This is a financial statement level materiality and this is a performance level materiality in where you are just establishing a particular threshold limit below which you are not supposed to verify, but above that you have to 100% verify the things, right? So I hope you understand what this for materiality you need to write this thing, you need to write this thing, nature of transactions and numbers, right? Okay, fine. Second question maybe comes in your mind, sir, તમે કીધું કે materiality means the transaction can be considered as a material if that transaction is influence the decision of the economic decision of the reader. So sir, can you tell me what is an economic decision? Students, do you know what is an economic decision? For the user perspective, I will explain it. Economic decision of a user. There are mainly 3 types of economic decision the user generally take: sell, buy and hold. Sell, buy and hold. What sells, buy and hold? Obviously securities, right? Selling, buying and hold security એટલે ક્યારે sell કરવી, ક્યારે buy કરવું અને ક્યારે hold કરવું, that is what we are supposed to take and that decision is known as economic decision, right? So now link the definition of materiality so that you have a clear picture in your mind. Materiality means the type of transaction which influence the economic decisions of the users of the financial statement. That what the materiality is. Again, read the heading of SA 320, materiality in planning and performing the work of audit. Right? I hope you clear in your mind what that does mean. Okay. Fine. Okay, just I noted down something to you guys. So after writing this, just note the point which I am telling you. Okay, fine. Just write. You need to write in paragraph. Huh? Now this explanations and basics is completed. Just write the summary points of this essay. Write the summary points. You are supposed to write in this manner. Write on that a transaction can be considered. A transaction can be considered. A transaction can be considered as a material. A transaction can be considered as a material if it can be a transaction can be considered as a material if it can be influence the economic decision of the reader full stop. And just write in continue manner. A transaction can be material. A transaction can be material from the quality point of view, and quantity point of view, points of view. So I am not understand what you are talking about. Just listen here and just see. What you looking at you? Transaction considered as a material, right? If influence the economic decision of reader of financial statement. It might be classified into two parts, from the quality point of view and from the quantity point of view. Sir, quantity point of view means amount, or we can say numbers involved, right? Quantity point of view means amount, or we can say numbers involved in the particular transaction, based on which you are classified the same as a quantity point of view. But sir, quality point of view means management internal policies or other factors which impact on entity. મેનેજમેન્ટ ઇન્ટરનલ પોલિસીઝ તો આપણે ડિસ્કસ કરી. પછી સર તમે શું લખાવ્યું? અધર ફેક્ટર્સ which impact on entity. તમને યાદ હોય તો મેં એક્ઝામ્પલ લીધું હતું કે તમારી કંપની પર્ટિક્યુલર એક સ્ટેટમાં છે પણ ગુજરાતમાં છે, પણ તમારે જે રો મટીરીયલ બાય કરો છો તમારી કંપની માટે, that is from Maharashtra. So transportation facility is very essential part for your business, for your entity, for your entity. So if I see this COVID situation where the transport facility are stopped down in between when the first lockdown comes effective in India, then what happen is, that is our quality point of view decision કે ટ્રાન્સપોર્ટ ફેસિલિટી સ્ટોપ થઈ ગઈ છે, મારું પ્રોડક્શન પણ સ્ટોપ થઈ ગયું છે. તો ધીસ ઇઝ ધ ક્વોલિટી મટીરિયાલિટી કે હવે ત્યારે મારે અમાઉન્ટમાં કોઈ ક્વોન્ટિફિકેશન નથી આપવાનું, પણ મને ખબર છે ફ્રોમ ક્વોલિટી પોઈન્ટ ઓફ વ્યૂ આ પર્ટિક્યુલર ઇવેન્ટ મટીરિયલ છે. સો બેઝડ ઓન વિચ I supposed to stop my production now, so it's directly impact on entire financial statement at the year end. So that I know that very well. So that I have to incorporate in a financial statement in the manner whatsoever the auditor thinks fit, and give the proper disclosure for the same. દરેક કંપનીએ ડિસ્ક્લોઝર આપ્યું છે COVID-19 માં. There is some policy they are adopted in COVID-19 situation, and that particular policy is enlisted in the financial statement. The financial statement which is printed for the year 1920, majority of the listed company gives the particular history of COVID-19, so that the user come to know that this is the situation where the entire country face a genuine hardship, and our company are also facing the same. We are not exception. So we supposed to stop down our particular production activity from this period to this much period. So that's why our financial may not be give the appropriate result to you what you are expecting from us. That you have to know, that you have to explaining to your users, so that they are not losing the faith on you as a company. To survive in the market, that's your duty to explain, and you have to follow some COVID-19 policies. I am explaining you the current scenario situations कि આ સમયે બધી કંપનીઝે શું કર્યું છે. Right? I hope you understand what I am explaining. Okay? Is it fine? Okay, fine. So તમે લોકોએ લખ્યું, a transaction can be considered as a material if it can influence the economic decision of the reader, and the transaction can be material from the quality point of view or from quantity point of view. Okay, fine. Now in second para, just write, if the transaction is material, if the transaction is material, if the transaction is material, then it will requires separate disclosure from all other transactions, right? If the transaction is material, then it will require a separate disclosure from all other transactions. Continue. So that the reader can understand, so that the readers can understand, effect of the same, full stop. Now write in that para only, if the transaction is not a material, then it will lose, if the transaction is not material, then it will lose its identity it will lose its identity in a financial statement. In a financial statement. ठीक છે સર આઈ એમ નોટ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ સર કે તમે એમ કીધું કે ઇટ વિલ લૂઝ હિઝ આઇડેન્ટિટી ધેટ મીન્સ કે એને આપણે રેકોર્ડ નહીં કરવાનું એવું ના એવું નહીં રેકોર્ડ તો કરવાનું સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ બટ વોટ આઈ એમ એક્સપ્લેનિંગ ઇઝ જસ્ટ વેટ see there are two types of transactions. One is a material transaction and other one is not a material. Right? If the transaction is material, you require the separate disclosure. Separate disclosure you supposed to give now. But if the transaction is not material, then you club the same with other income and expenses. Other income and expenses. Sir, સમજાણું નહીં ક્લબ કરી દેવું એટલે શું? Say for example, you found that in a particular mistakes of 20,000 rupees in the expense of rent. You found that 20,000 is something what we are not supposed to verify, or the transaction which I consider the same is not a material. 20,000 ની કાક ભૂલ થઈ છે અકાઉન્ટન્ટ થી કે ભૂલથી રેકોર્ડ થઈ ગઈ છે કે એની કોઈ રિસિપ્ટ નથી મળતી કે એક્ચ્યુઅલ માં રેન્ટ પે થયું છે કે નથી થયું એ ખબર નથી પણ રેકોર્ડ થઈ ગયું છે રાઈટ so what I supposed to do, I club this 20,000 in other expenses plus કરી દઈશ right and a separate disclose નહીં કરું. But if say for example over here કોઈ legal dispute ચાલતો હતો અને એમાં કંપનીએ સપોઝ 50 લાખ રૂપિયા પે કર્યા કોઈ પર્ટિક્યુલર પાર્ટીને, કંપની કેસ હારી ગઈ અને એના કારણે 50 લાખ રૂપિયા પે કર્યા. So that 50 lakhs rupees which paid by the company, I have to disclose separately on financial statement. A legal dispute payment 50 lakhs rupees, and I give separate note for the same also in notes forming a part of financial statement. I hope જ્યારે મેં સ્ટાર્ટ કર્યું ત્યારે સમજાયું હતું કે સર ફાઇનાન્શિયલ સ્ટેટમેન્ટના કેટલા કમ્પોનન્ટ હોય છે. That's first is profit and loss, then balance sheet, કોઈ ટ્રેડિંગ કંપની હોય તો એમાં ટ્રેડિંગ અકાઉન્ટ પણ હોય, then notes forming a part of balance sheet, cash flow statements, change in equity. This all is the form of financial statement, students. So over here, as far as the legal dispute is concerned, of 50 lakhs rupees 50, I give the separate note for the same, and I disclose in a particular profit and loss account that I have paid 50 lakhs rupees for legal dispute amount separately, so that user kept in mind કે ઓહો 50 લાખ રૂપિયાનું કંપનીએ કોકને પેમેન્ટ કરવું પડ્યું because of lose of case in a court of law. So this is how we supposed to disclose in a financial statement, right? Right ahead in next para તમારે આ લખવું હોય then you can write the word form which I already noted down for you. It's up to you students. Okay, fine. Next para, for considering materiality, auditor should not look for considering materiality, auditor should not look at individual effect of a transaction, not look at individual effect of a transaction, comma, rather he should look rather he should look at the total effect of the transaction. Rather he should look at a total effect of the transaction, and after considering the total effect, continue, and after considering the total effect of a transaction, and after considering total effect of a transaction, auditor should judge whether the transaction is material or not. I just repeat the entire sentence, just listen. For considering materiality, auditor should not look at individual effect of the transaction, rather he looks on a total effect of the transaction. Auditor should judge, then after auditor should judge whether the transaction is considered as a material or not. So I already explaining you કે individual effect ને નથી જોવાની, aggregate effect ને જોવાની છે. ઘણીવાર some of the transaction, by considering the single effect, we are not supposed to judge whether the same is material or not. We believe that the transaction is not material, but in reality if we see the aggregate effect of that particular transaction, it's become a material. But still I am giving you the another example of that aggregate materiality, so having a clear idea to all of you guys. Say for example, કોઈ એક પર્ટિક્યુલર કંપનીમાં બેન્કિંગ કંપની છે. I am taking the example of banking company students, okay? બેન્કિંગ કંપની, અને તમે એના બેંક ઓડિટર છો. સો તમે બેંક ઓડિટ કરવા ગયા, ત્યાં તમે જોયું કે જે ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ પર્ટિક્યુલરલી ચાર્જ કરવામાં આવે છે ને, ચાર્જ લોન્સ ઉપર, લોન્સ, રાઈટ, ઈ एक्चुअली 10.59% થી સપોઝ થાય છે. 10.59% થી સપોઝ થાય છે. આપણે 59 ની જગ્યાએ 58 કે 57 પકડી લઈએ. 57% થી થાય છે, રાઈટ. નાઉ તમે બેંક પાસે ગયા, બેંકને કીધું કે કામ કરો, લોનના સ્ટેટમેન્ટ્સ જે છે ને તમે ચાર્જ કર્યું હોય વગેરે એની પ્રિન્ટ આઉટ્સ આપી દો. તમે પ્રિન્ટ આઉટ્સ લીધી, તમે વેરીફાઈ કરતા હતા તો તમને આ રેટ ઉપરથી ટેલી નહોતું થતું. પછી તમે શું કર્યું કે કામ કરો, તમારા સોફ્ટવેરમાંથી એક્સેલમાં મને ડમ્પ આપો. શું આપો? એક્સેલનું ડમ્પ આપો, એટલે કે એક્સેલમાં કન્વર્ટ કરીને તમારા સોફ્ટવેરમાંથી મને આપો. પછી તમે શું કરશો, તમે જે પર્ટિક્યુલર ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ અમાઉન્ટ છે, સપોઝ 1 લાખ, પછી ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ થઈ ગયું માની લો 58, sorry, it will be a 95, will be a 92, a 90, right? સપોઝ આ 10 વર્ષની લોન હતી, 10 વર્ષ પછી આ 9 વર્ષે એટલું થયું, 8 વર્ષે એટલું થયું, 7 વર્ષે એટલું ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ થયું, બરાબર છે. તો શું થાય છે કે આની ઉપર જે 10.57% ચાર્જ થાય છે ને, એ actually due to some software error, this 10.57 is become 10.60%, and software is auto rounded that particular interest rate. So that is how we see that from 10.60 to 10.57. So there is a 0.03% interest charged by that banking company is high. Unnecessarily 0.03% interest વધારે ચાર્જ કરે છે બેન્કિંગ કંપનીના કસ્ટમર પાસેથી. સો સ્ટુડન્ટ, તમે એમ કહેશો કે સર એમાં શું ફેર પડે 1 લાખ થી 90,000 માં 0.03%? સ્ટુડન્ટ અત્યારે નો ફેર પડે, પણ જ્યારે બેન્કિંગ કંપનીનું તમે સિંગલ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન જોવો છો ને, એક તમે વેન્ડર ઉપાડ્યો, એક કસ્ટમર લીધો, એ કસ્ટમરની 1 લાખ રૂપિયાની લોન છે, તમે સિંગલ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન જોવો છો, let's not give the major impact on financials of that company, right? But if you see the aggregate effect, there are lakhs of customer of that banking company. There are lakhs of person who are taking the loan from that banking company. તો ત્યારે ખબર પડશે કે બધાનો ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ શું થશે, રાઉન્ડેડ ઓફ થશે. So this 0.03% impact which is given by banking company, it's become a huge and huge depending upon the number of increment of customer. અને ઘણીવાર કોઈ કસ્ટમર આવીને કેસ પણ કરે કે ભાઈ તમે અનનેસેસરીલી આટલું બધું ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ ચાર્જ કર્યું છે, ખરેખર તમે તમારો જે લેટર હતો સેન્કશન લેટર વી કેન સે, ઈ સેન્કશન લેટરમાં આટલો રેટ દેખાડ્યો અને પછી તમારા સોફ્ટવેરના એરરના કારણે તમે આટલો રેટ ચાર્જ કરો છો. સો હાઉ ધીસ ઇઝ ફેર? સો ઈ કસ્ટમર એ પર્ટિક્યુલર બેન્કિંગ કંપની ઉપર કેસ પણ કરી શકે છે. So as an auditor of that particular banking company, what's your duty is? Your duty is to correct this kind of material transactions which we see in aggregate manner, so that we having an idea કે ભાઈ aggregate manner માં અગર જોવા જઈએ તો આની ઇમ્પેક્ટ બહુ ખરાબ આવી શકે છે ફ્યુચરમાં. સો હવે તમને એક પર્ટિક્યુલર પોઈન્ટ સમજાણો હશે કે એગ્રીગેટ ઇમ્પેક્ટ આપણે કઈ રીતે ને શા માટે જોતા હોઈએ છીએ. Right, students? Okay, fine. Just write in continue next para. Just give the heading with different pen. Auditors should consider the concept of materiality while question mark. Auditor should consider the concept of materiality while. First point. Determining the nature, timing and extent. Determining આ એક ક્વેશ્ચન છે જે ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટ ઘણીવાર પૂછી લેતી હોય છે કે when the auditor decide the materiality, right? Auditor should consider the concept of materiality while કયા કેસમાં materiality decide કરવાની આવશે. First thing, determining nature, timing and extent of audit procedure. Determining nature, timing and extent of audit procedure. Right? Second, evaluate the effect of misstatement. Evaluate effect of misstatement. Next, on the financial statement and forming. On the financial statement and forming the opinion in the auditor's report. And forming the opinion in the auditor's report. Next, planning and performing stage of audit. Planning and performing stage of audit. Planning and performing stage of audit. Okay. એક જ કોન્સેપ્ટ બાકી રહ્યો છે આ સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ નો SA 320 નો. Just give the heading. Just give the heading. The relationship between risk and materiality. The relationship between the risk and materiality. Right? Heading આપી દીધું. Just wait. Heading આપી દીધું. Okay, fine. Just write under that. You come to know what is the relationship, huh? Because I am already explaining you risk and materiality relationship. I have to remove something. Yeah. Yes, student. So, if the risk and over here is a materiality. So, if risk is high, then what the materiality is, and if the risk is low, then what the materiality is, that what the relationship status is. Just write on that. There is an inverse relationship. There is an inverse relationship between materiality and degree of audit risk. And degree of audit risk. Right? There is an inverse relationship between materiality and degree of audit risk. Full stop. Write in next para. The higher the materiality, comma, what the answer is, students? If the materiality is high, then risk is, materiality વધારે છે તો risk શું થશે? The higher the materiality, the lower the audit risk. Lower the audit risk. એવું કેમ સર? મટીરીયાલિટી વધારે હોય તો રિસ્ક કેમ તમારું ઓછું થઈ જશે? અરે સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ, અગર મટીરીયાલિટી વધારે છે કોઈ પર્ટિક્યુલર ફાઇનાન્શિયલ સ્ટેટમેન્ટમાં તો તમારું જે થ્રેશહોલ્ડ હશે એ સપોઝ આપણા એક્ઝામ્પલમાં 1 લાખ જ હતું તો એનો મતલબ એમ થયો કે તમે બધી વસ્તુ મોટા ભાગની મટીરીયલ છે એ બધું ચેક કરશો, સો ધેટ્સ વાય ઓડિટ રિસ્ક શું થશે? ઘટી જશે. બટ ઇફ ધ મટીરીયાલિટી ઇઝ લો, then audit risk is high. So higher the audit risk. Right? So તમે શું લખ્યું? The higher the materiality, comma, the lower the audit risk, and vice versa. Right? Next paragraph લખો. Because if the transaction is considered as a material, because the reason આપું છું why this happen is because the transaction is material, then surely it must have been considered. Then surely it must have been considered by the auditor, because if the transaction is material, then surely it must have been considered, right? Because if the transaction is material, then surely it must have been considered by the auditor during the process of audit. Continue. And there is a very less chances of having a frauds and error within such transaction, having such frauds and error in such transactions. So students, I completed essay 320 here. Last જે મેં લખાવ્યું ને materiality and the relationship between materiality and risk, audit risk. This is a very important. It might be asked in your exams कि આ relationship શું છે? Why the materiality is higher and low the audit risk, and why the materiality is lower and high the audit risk, and vice versa situations. It might be your MCQ question also, students. So kept in mind these things. So we completed these two essays. For essay 300 series, only one essay is left, that is essay 330, response to audit risk. That we will discuss in next lecture, students. Till now, have a good day. Be safe at your home, and consider proper study methods. Consider your particular module of the institute. I will arrange your reference book soon, so that you have in your hand and you just practice out the MCQs and all that. You have a clear picture over the period of time in the audit, and you are much confident when you will go to your exams for audit papers. I will sure for the same, because you have a practical as well as theoretical approach, and if that two approaches combined, then the output which you serve to the institute is very delicious. I hope you understand. So till now, thank you to all.